we should be good to go.
And then 2 questions for you on the 2 Mystics alums in the house today. Starting with Tosh, seeing a former player come back, now she's an associate head coach. She's obviously coached in the NBA, I know, but what's it like for you kind of seeing?
What did you say? Christy?
Christy.
Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Sorry. Just what's it like for you seeing her kind of grow in this league, being associate head coach and now getting to go up against her?
Yeah, it's fun. Just got to catch up with her for a minute, so it's fun. Coach player relationship always has a certain boundary to it, even though we were always on really good terms. And now that she's fully in the other side of the profession, it was fun when she had started doing the coaching piece while she was still playing, because it kind of gave us a different dimension to our relationship. But now watching her be fully immersed in it, it's cool. She obviously brings a lot to the table in terms of her knowledge of the game and her experience. I don't think anybody would shock that she's a future head coach in this league. And it's fun because, if I can say this, Christy wasn't always the easiest to coach. The really smart ones never are, which is fun because it's now like she gets to be on the other side of that and deal with that challenge in the same way. It's great. It's great to have her in the league. It's, I'm sure she's a huge help to Nate, especially as he's navigating his first season. She can understand what all those players on that roster are going through. Some of whom are her teammates. I'm just proud of her. It's fun. I'm glad she's in our league. I'm glad our league is benefiting from her, her abilities and her experience. I hope we're competing against her for a long time.
And then with Tosh, what are just kind of the emotions to welcoming her back here to play here for the first time? I know you obviously played against her out there, but a little bit different bringing her back to the city.
A little bit weird with it being at Cap One and a Kids Day and all that, but I hope she gets a great reception. She deserves it, obviously, for everything she's given to not just our team but our city. She meant a lot to the people here. People maybe that didn't even follow basketball or even follow the Mystics, and she'll be recognized and welcomed appropriately. We feel like we went on a journey together here for a long time. It was, I think, our 3rd year when we drafted her here, and we had a 9-year run together and a lot of great shared memories. There's a banner hanging in this building that she's a big part of. So, I hope it's a great homecoming. I'm sure emotions on her side as well. And, once the ball goes up, I'm sure she'll be trying to kill us.
Just one more for you. When you think about those 2 and their careers as Mystics, any memories in this building specifically come to mind for you?
I think Tosh hit the other than the camp days and stuff we've done here since we moved to ESA, she pretty much closed this building down with her game winner against LA in the year that we went to the finals. So that's one for her. For sure. Christy, most of my memories are either on the road or at ESA, but I just remember getting that, the first year we had that group on the floor here when Christy and Elena came and we had Tosh and that whole group. It just felt like the start of something special. From the day we got Christy here, it felt like we had a real championship pedigree to us all of a sudden. And so that's what I think about when I think of Christy playing here.
Eric, I know you said earlier in the week with the break coming up, you eventually have to have that conversation, but right now it's focusing on each game as it comes. Is there any significance of what you want to see from this team in the last game before an extended break?
I like to see us play well. I mean, we've I think we've showed great character in digging ourselves out of the hole we were in to start the season. We got a chance to you always feel it before the All-Star break that you want to get a win going into that break, but when the break's a month long or close to it, you really want to get a win to leave that taste in your mouth. But I think we've against the good teams in this league, the really talented teams, which Phoenix has won, we've played well enough to be in most games, and we've had some chances to close, and we haven't. I thought there were opportunities in our game the other day against Vegas, particularly in that 3rd quarter, where we didn't sustain with the same level of focus and intensity we could have or should have. So what I want to see today is, when the game gets a little tough at some point or the teams are going back and forth, that we have some will about us to push through.
And back to Tosh, how do you see Phoenix utilizing her maybe a little bit differently or using different skill sets from her than how you guys did over the past several years?
Not too much different other than, I think they're probably putting her on more bigs to start games, whereas a lot of times we would put her on a guard and switch her on to bigs. Which is maybe how they envisioned it at the start of the year, but with their injuries, they had to adapt a little bit. Tosh with a bunch of shooting around her is always a really good recipe. And so, she's got targets to hit and Diana and Ka and BG and all their other shooters, Sophie and Beck Allen and those guys. So not radically different. She looks like herself. Yep.
Heading into the break here, curious how you would evaluate Aaliyah's growth as a rookie and where you think she's taken the biggest leaps since May.
I would say one of her biggest growth is just learning the league. She's now seen, because she's played a really significant role for us, she's seen other teams adjust now to both her strengths and her weaknesses. And so she's going through that, kind of learning curve that a lot of rookies go through where she has to adapt now. I think the best thing about her, and it's growth in her game, but not necessarily growth in who she was as a person, because I think she just wired this way. Is that she plays relentlessly. She plays hard. She plays through mistakes. She's always going to come and be a pro and compete. That was in her long before she got here. But I think it really carries you through when you hit some of those bumps as a rookie. That you just keep playing and you figure it out.
Yeah. And obviously with injuries, she's had to step up and take on a bit of a bigger role. Is there anything in particular you've seen from her that's allowed her to kind of thrive in those added minutes?
I think she's just not afraid. She battles. It's one night she's got Asia Wilson, and the next night she's having a battle with Leah Boston, or she's out on the perimeter chasing somebody around. She got put on Chelsea Gray and Jackie Young. She just has that ability to move around, and she takes every challenge head on. Phoenix is going to pose a different challenge today with smaller lineups, and it's maybe something she hasn't experienced to that degree, but she just tries to learn and she goes out and does it. And there's a real fearlessness to her.
Any other questions? I think that's it, Ben.
Oh, I'll let Jen finish.
Oh, I should probably, my bad. Talking about Tosh guarding fours at times. And then, over the weekend, you were kind of talking about how Vegas was cross matching and you were kind of paying attention to that. With Tosh guarding fours, does that create a similar issue for you guys where you're trying to match up differently? Does that cause any issues for you guys as you find your matchups?
It could go either way. I mean, it's I'd say in most games we're in right now, that's a challenge. It's they're trying to be cross-match, finding us in transition, and then we'll be the same thing going back the other way at times. But that's why it's important not to turn the ball over. Why it's important to get good shots. And I thought for the most part, the other day against Vegas, we did a good job just talking and finding a matchup and then figuring it out. All right, thanks.